Michael Tebow here, Done For You Marketing Systems with this week's edition of Mike's Marketing Minutes with the second edition of how to find staff and get them to show up for their interview for your business, because we know it's super tough right now. And you might be thinking this exact same question: why don't they show up for the interview? I mean, when I got them to fill out the application and we set up the interview and they just don't show. And I hear this from so many of our members, and it's super frustrating, right? So I'm going to give you 6 different ways you can get them to show up for the actual interview. But what you have to remember is this is kind of like we're in a bidding war right now, right? Because believe me, the people that are signing up for submitting their applications and trying to set up an interview with you are not doing it with just your business. If you have a restaurant, auto repair shop, or retail, they're looking at a bunch of different businesses, and everybody in the world right now is hiring. So what you need to do is figure out how to get them to show up for your interview, because that's what's important. But you got to remember, you're competing against everybody else. So using that and using it to get them to show up is key. You want it. Why is your business different? Why is your restaurant different? Why is your auto repair shop different? What's your unique selling proposition? Remember, finding staff and getting them to show up is a marketing challenge, and that's the way you need to look at it. So are they excited about coming in for the interview? Can they see why your restaurant is different? Now, what I suggest is on the application process, you should have an online application form. And in the beginning, tell them maybe a couple sentences about why it's great working at your restaurant. Why would they want to work at your restaurant? If you need ideas, talk to your staff, right? Because they're the ones that are working there. They're going to be able to give you that information. So make sure you have a USP, why you're different. Use that in all your marketing, especially after they sign up to get an interview. Also, be clear, okay? Tell them who they're going to be interviewing with, all right? Let them know. Just not, hey, show up here and then there's confusion or they're nervous. Make sure you tell them you're going to be interviewing with our manager, Jeff, and what you're going to be interviewing for, what position, and give them some information. Hey, this is how the interview process goes, okay? And let them know it's going to be approximately 45 minutes to an hour, whatever it is for you. And you can put that right on the application page or a pop-up on your application page if you're doing them online, or put it on a paper application, right? Make sure they know where you're located, and that's why it's important to have your Google business listing, because believe me, they're checking you out before they come for the interview. And obviously you want to let them know exactly when, what day, and what hour for that interview. I like using scheduling software. Now we use Acuity, there's Candly, there's all different types of scheduling software out there. Now the great thing about doing this is, so they click a button, they pick a day, they pick a time, and you control all that, but there's built-in reminders. So once they sign up for one interview with whoever it is with your company, they're going to receive a couple of different reminders. And depending on what system you use, they can get text reminders, they can get email reminders. But I also like using the phone, right? So make sure you have some system in place. If you're not using one of these, make sure you have some type of follow-up system in place to remind them to show up, because people are busy, and like I said, they're probably filling out a bunch of different applications for a bunch of different businesses. So make sure you have something for follow-up. I like all 3: email, text, and phone. So if you have a restaurant, give that to your your host, while they're up at the host stand, right? And have them make some calls. Hey, we're looking forward to seeing you at your interview today at 3 o'clock. Remember, you're going to be interviewing with Jeff, our manager, okay? And then send him an email, send him a text reminder. Also, sell yourself. Sell your business. If you got a restaurant, have your servers write some testimonials, 1 or 2 sentences, why it's a great place to work. And I love video testimonials. You can put those right on the applications, what I call reinforcing the sale in marketing. So your staff is actually telling them, getting them excited about coming in for the interview because it's such a great place to work. So testimonials from your existing staff. Also, after the interview, this is key to get some really good information. After the interview, you want to thank them. Even if you're not going to hire them, send them a follow-up. Thank you so much for coming in. Things have changed, right? I mean, it used to be, it's supply and demand. There's a lot of jobs out there and there's not a lot of employees. So we have to do things to create the excitement to get them to show up for the interview. And asking them after the interview will give you some really good information. How did the interview process go? Ask them 6 to 10 questions. You can create a survey on SurveyMonkey, and that way you can automate it and just do it by email. Or have somebody call them up, and ask them, hey, how did you think the interview process went? What could we do better? So ask, send them a survey. Get that information because you want to be different, stand out from everybody else. If you need help with any of this or any marketing for your business, for finding staff, for getting new customers, get your existing customers to come back and spend more money more frequently, click the button below and you can sign up for a free strategy session with one of my marketing gurus in your industry. It's free because you're on your list. The first one's free. So if you haven't done a strategy session before, click the button below, take advantage of it, especially right now, and we can help you find more staff. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.